Welcome to the Purpose Chasers podcast, where those who refuse to let odds or naysayers stand in their way come to chase and catch their true calling. I'm your host, Mark Crandall. In each episode, we shine a spotlight on artists and musicians who dare to dream bigger. You'll hear the real-world tactical moves these Purpose Chasers have taken to carve out their legacies, and I'll break down the marketing strategies you can swipe and implement today. Let's dive in and start chasing our purpose. Don't forget to leave a follow on Spotify or wherever you stream from. Let's dive into this episode. Hal, so blessed and grateful for your time coming back on the Purpose Chasers podcast. It has been almost 6 years since we've last recorded video. Our first recording, episode 44, was in 2019. So it's been almost 6 years since we have done a recording. The first video recording has not been found until this morning. My old laptop was found and it's actually charging. It's very, very ironic.
Whoa.
Grateful to have you on. There has been a lot of profound stuff happening for you in the world of the Miracle Morning, the Miracle Equation, the Miracle Morning app. What triggered, I know, I don't want to use buzzwords, but what really activated this wanting to get you back on, not only are a lot of men suffering around me right now. It's very, very common for a lot of men are going to therapy right now around me. And I just started. So I am advocating for that if you're listening. What triggered this or cultivated this ask of you coming onto the Purpose Chasers podcast was me seeing a clip from Jesse from Banana League, who's a man that I'd followed for a while, come up in like glowing, get to meet you. And I saw this whole clip and I was like, oh my goodness. And it hit me. I stopped Purpose Chasers, but Hal kept Miracle Morning going. Look at the magnitude of Hal's impact because he didn't get scared like I did. And so seeing that, I'm very excited to have you back on to share the magnitude of the Miracle Morning impact. Thank you so much, Hal.
Dude, it is a pleasure. And before we started, you shed a tear, man. I just want to share that with your audience because they didn't get to see it. I did. They didn't get to feel it. I did. So very heartfelt human being that you are, Mark, and I want to acknowledge that. You mentioned something you just said, something that, that Hal didn't get scared like I did. No, I definitely have been scared many times on a regular basis, sometimes on a daily basis, just like you have been, and so many men who are suffering and struggling right now. And I'm definitely, I'm not above that. It's the last, 5 years of my life have been some of the hardest years of my life. Definitely the hardest consistent stretch over a long period of time. I've gone through some different, my car accident, my cancer, I've gone through these kind of, acute, really intense, life-threatening challenges, but this long, drawn-out, that a lot of people can relate to probably, this, fear and lack of purpose and overwhelm, and am I doing the right thing, and wait, why are people coming after me when I thought I was doing the right things and a good person, but, what's going on? God, are you there? What's your plan? I don't know, so I just want to start there, man. I think that ever since 2020, I feel like we as a society, as a species, we're in it. Something has been afoot, and it's good versus evil, if you will. And we as good beings are fighting some evil forces. I feel like, not to get too spiritual, but. Man. So we're all in the midst of maybe an uphill battle, but I'll share this. Someone just shared with me the other day this quote, and it was just a total paradigm refresh. And let me find it here. It's a reframe. It's, what if everything I've done so far was just the warm-up act, and my best is yet to come? And that for me is that's guiding me right now, because you look behind me on the wall if you're watching this video, and there's a dozen books, and there was a time in my life where I was on top of the world. I had more money than I knew what to do with, and more opportunity, and making more impact, and then life knocked me down. And so I've definitely had these fears of like, oh man, what if I can't get back, not just back to where I was, but like back to a really like a good, financially secure place, and a really good, happiness and spiritual, all the things. What if I can't? What if my best is behind me, and I'm afraid of what the future holds? And yeah, man, I'm going to say that again. What if everything that you have done so far was just the warm-up act, and your best is yet to come? And I believe that if we choose to believe that and live it as our truth, then it becomes our truth.
Wow. We're not even going to go into questions. We're just going to go off of this interview. That just nailed me. It reminded me of the gap in the gain, all the past accomplishments. And for those of you, listening who didn't experience the tear, because there was many tears, and there's been many tears through my years of cultivating a relationship with Hal, because I didn't just interview him and interview on his podcast and then leave. I've maintained a relationship with him, and that just nailed me, man. I had no idea in reaching out to you that you and I would be in such similar places at this time, in this moment, in this interview, and I got scared. That hate rolled in, and people started to say, well, I thought Purpose Chasers was about impact, and well, look at Mark, he's making money, and now he's getting paid to speak, and now he wants to do sales funnels and webinars, and it's like, yeah, I gotta make a livelihood. Like, this stuff costs. There's the overhead's crazy, and I have all these friends that came to work for me, and they all think that they're owed everything that I've worked years before they even jumped in for, and
oh man, I can relate to that, all of it.
And I stopped, and the tear that was shed at the beginning was Hal Elrod, interviewing him around the Miracle Morning, due to the impact that the Miracle Morning had on me in entrepreneurship and in college. It literally the Miracle Morning, listening to the audiobook, led me to get rid of my Xbox and dismantle my PC. I was a video game addict going into college.
Wow.
Like, because of how disruptive it was. And you were my number one goal. It was, once I interview with Hal, like, for whatever it was, you were the God for me. And I put you up on such a massive pedestal. And then I interviewed you, and then I got in your community and did all those things. And I was like, oh wow, like, what else is there? And then I realized, like, I put my goal on a person. And any relationship can get built if strategy is put behind it and you have care and concern. So profound having you here, with that being the foundation of this conversation. How, going into your phase 2 act, if you will, if everything that you created before us talking, or, since 2019, since the last time that we recorded, was your first act, or your first showing, if you will. This is amazing. Yeah. What can you talk to me about what it looks like now, like what you are building from? Because to me, it sounded like in the pre-interview, you're like, I needed this. I really needed your mindset right now, because you're like, it's coming at me, Mark, but let's go, and I needed it.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's been there's phases of this was hard, this period was hard. But the last 10 months, my energy has been going into, without getting into detail, just my energy has been sucked into a challenging circumstance for 10 months that has not completely, but primarily taken my eye and my team's eye off of like growing and just kind of playing defense, if you will. And I think we're about to resolve that and move forward. But it's like I've been that, and all that does is perpetuate the fear and the worst case scenarios and all of that, right? Sleepless nights. And so now it's like I can see a path forward. I think it was Seth Godin wrote the book The Dip, and my friend Chandler Bolt, who I think Chandler, he wrote an article about it, and it just the idea that almost for most people, when they achieve a high level of success, they will eventually dip. Because they stopped. There's a lot of reasons why. You stop doing the things that got you there. You take your eye off the prize. You get lazy. You get overwhelmed. You know, if you're Conor McGregor, you turn to drugs and alcohol, right? Like, there's lots of reasons that after the peak, there's a dip. And they say it's way harder to dig yourself out of the dip and climb the second mountain than it was the first time. Because the first time, you're younger, you're hungry, you don't know what you don't know, you're just going off pure, drive and motivation. And now it's like, and now I've got a family, and I've got kids, and I've got responsibilities and all these things. And so yes, I mean, what's going on right now, the Miracle Morning is, and that's the thing too, by the way, you have to look at like, what do you have? You mentioned the gap and the gain, right? What are the assets that I have? I'm not starting at zero, right? What happens is, think of this. When you get to a certain level of success or accomplishment, or even a level of happiness, I mean, you can apply this in your life, you get to a certain level. Then you get into a dip, you fall down. You're not comparing yourself with where you were before you rose to that level. You're comparing yourself to where you were at the peak, right? And so now it's like, all I'm seeing is everything that I lost. I'm not making the amount of money that I was. I'm not even impacting the amount of lives that I was. My brain doesn't work as well as it did. I went through 700 hours of chemotherapy, and my brain does not function. So that creates fear of like, what if I'm not as good as I was when I got to the first mountain, and I can't do it again? And so you got to stop that and go, wait a minute, what do I have for, not compared to the best I was at or the highest point, but what do I have compared to zero? Like for me, I have a global brand that sold millions of books. People know about the Miracle Morning. And I know that's not true for everybody, but you got to take for you what you have in terms of your relationships and your resources and your accomplishments and your connections and your knowledge and your skills and your abilities. I would hope that at 46, I've got more maturity and wisdom and connections and relationships that I can harness and leverage than when I was, 25 on my way up 20 years ago, right? So right now, the Miracle Morning, we did an updated edition, as you know, a couple of years ago. I mean, this book, this is my heart and soul in terms of my life's work. And the Miracle Morning, it's like, for me, it's old news. And even if somebody's read it, it might be old news, but every day, we're selling probably 4,000 copies a month of that book in the U.S. alone, and probably triple that if we go worldwide. And I have to remember, wait a minute, I know that at the height, here's the thing, Mark. At the height, I was selling 10,000 plus copies per month. Now I'm selling 4,000 copies per month. But I have to remember, no, I'm selling 4,000 compared to zero, not compared to 10. Right? And then I go to Amazon and I read the reviews and I get present. Oh, this person just read the book last week for the first time, and it's transformed their life and who they are. That's what matters. It's one life at a time, not comparing the metrics all the time. And so, the Miracle Morning app you mentioned, we launched the Miracle Morning app a few years ago, and that's become a major focus because, tens of thousands of people per month use the app. And I love seeing app reviews where they're like, man, I read the book, but I didn't have the discipline to implement it. I didn't stick with it. Then I got the app, and now I've got this little accountability buddy that I check in with every morning on my phone, and it just takes a minute. I don't have to spend hours on it, and it holds me accountable. And now I've got a streak going, and now I'm on day 47 or 300 or 700 because of the Miracle Morning app. So it's like, wow, we've got the book that helps somebody go deep into the Miracle Morning. We've got the Miracle Morning movie, which is free on YouTube. That helps somebody really in 90 minutes go like, oh man, I get this. I'm emotionally bought in. And then the app is like the day after the book's been read and the movie's been watched. The app gives guided tracks to guide people through their Miracle Morning by just clicking play. It gives them a journal to write, and it gives them a tracker, like on and on and on. And so this ecosystem of the movie, the book, the app, and there's a dozen books, that right now is like, how do we get that? Maybe 3 or 4 million people, somewhere in that range, have read the book or downloaded the app or watched the movie. And that to me means I have 8 billion people to spend my days trying to reach. And so that's it, right? Like just getting started, just scratch the surface. And again, I'm going to read this again. My daily affirmation now, of all my affirmations, this one's my favorite. and I want you to embody this or write this down for yourself if you're listening or watching this. What if everything I've done so far was just the warm-up act, and my best is yet to come? And that's as true as you decide that it is.
It's such a good quote, and the way you're tying it into one. I want to give the audience a little more context because you highlighted a huge asset that a man who came, who's been a part of your life for a long time, but came into a larger role through organic means that helped you get to this mindset. Because I'm looking at you and I'm looking at like, hey, you go from 10,000. I get it from that perspective, from, exiting the construction company that I did and going from like running this and having all these relationships to crickets. Yeah. Oh, I can't even call them. I can't market in the industry that I've been marketing in for, what do I, it's like, it's a very lonely place. Yeah. And I had somebody come back into my life, and it sounds like you had somebody come into your life who helped you get your assets together and help you get into the perspective of, all right, we're not going to focus on what we've lost. We're going to focus on what we have right now, and then get back to what I know you for, which is impact, one morning at a time.
Yeah. Now, are you referring to Jeremy?
Hal, before we hit record, we're talking about Jeremy, a man who I've known and danced with and sang with at many, many events throughout the years. Yeah. And you dropped something on me that I didn't know. I did know a little bit because I was in GoBundance, and in all full humility, I had to leave. I didn't qualify. And it was very, very humbling. That happened last year. Very, very humbling. So I've attended events. I've seen him in that way. You shared a perspective of Mr. Jeremy that I did not know existed, which was this mastermind of a business brain that has evolved since the last time that I talked to you, which has engulfed the Miracle Morning app. Can you dive into how he came into your life in more of a business leadership role to get your mindset to what it is now?
Yeah, and this, I feel like it's a God thing. If I look at my whole life, I can go, oh, wow, the right person was placed into my life at the right time. And that's often during the most difficult time when I needed another human being to help me get through it. And about 9 or 10 months ago, Jeremy Reisig, who's known as the musician Jay Hobbs, formerly Brother James. So he's got like 3 names, but Jay Hobbs is the musician name. But Jeremy has been a close friend for over 20 years, I think 25 years. And I knew him as a musician. I knew he was a top sales guy for Cutco back in the day with me, but I did not know he was a business genius and just a genius in general. It's kind of like whatever he puts his focus on, he figures it out at a very high level. And so, yeah, man, he was brought back into my life in this capacity, and now he's the chief growth officer for the Miracle Morning, and still one of my best friends. So it's kind of cool that I get to work with him every day. And there are times where, it's mutually reciprocal in terms of I'll be struggling with my mindset. I'll be like, man, this, and he'll turn it, reframe it for me. But there's times where I can tell, dude, he's stressed and he's overwhelmed right now and he's freaking out. And then I'll reframe it. He's like, God, thank you. I needed that, And there's so much lesson there in terms of whether it's my wife as my muse or it's Jeremy or many other friends in my life, that we're not meant to go it alone. And that I believe, right, where two minds are, there's a quote around that or a Bible verse or something, right? But where two minds are together, like the impact of that is exponential. One mind plus one mind isn't 2, it's 10x, etc.
Steel on steel is the Bible reference. But yes, the magnitude of masterminding, you very humbly shared on what Jeremy has actually done. I would love to dive into it as it relates to the Miracle Morning app. And I don't know if Hal has an affiliate link for me. I'm going to ask this live. And if he doesn't, I'm still going to share the link.
We are working on that, dude, actually. So yeah. Make sure you follow up with me. I don't know if it's ready, but I think it might be. It's close.
Regardless,
that's Jeremy, by the way. Jeremy's the one that pioneered the affiliate program. Yeah.
Okay, Jeremy, I need my affiliate link. I will have a link in the description and in the show notes with my affiliate link. But regardless, I need an app. Like you know me, I have been militant on practices and I, falling out of where I was living and falling out of my circle. It's like some days it's this, some days it's that. There's been no consistency. And for those who even know the Miracle Morning and think they have an understanding of all that Hal is and he talks about, Hal, can you give me, the interviewer, a perspective? Can you sell me on this app and how simple it would be for me to get a daily habit going, to get these spiritual practices and creative practices back going into my life?
Yeah, man. It's interesting that it started because Miracle Morning practitioners, I would survey our community and I would ask them, hey, is there anything else that you want or need for us to better serve you? And the number one answer was a Miracle Morning app. And people would often say things like, I use 6 or even 7 apps for my Miracle Morning. I've got a meditation app. I've got a journaling app. I've got an affirmations app. I have a visualization app. I have an exercise app, like 7-minute workout. I've got a reading app like Kindle or a book summary app. I've got a habit tracking app. So they're using like 7 apps. And so that was overwhelming for me to go, well, dude, how do I create 7 apps in one? That's a heavy lift. I also don't even know what that's going to cost. And the initial quotes I'd get were like 150, 200 grand. I'm like, I don't have that to risk on an app that may or may not work. I have no idea. And so actually our Josh Eidenberg was the person that a friend of mine, Josh, came to me initially and said, Hal, he pushed me to do it and do the app. And I said, yes. And we went forward. And so now it's 7 apps in one. I mean, that's the thing, is you literally can, whether you're a morning person or not, you can roll out of bed, you can turn your phone on and click play, and it will guide you through an entire Miracle Morning in as little as 6 minutes, or you could do it, 20, 30, an hour, whatever. It'll guide you through it and actually have all the, it'll facilitate. There's exercise videos. There's the book summaries are in there. It's got a journaling app. It's got an affirmations creator, all these things. And so, that's it. It's the fastest, easiest way to do Miracle Morning. And often when I'm, if I'll do like an interview on a podcast, which this is, I'll say, hey, look, I recommend all 3. Order the book on Amazon. It's the best $13.89. That's what it's priced at right now that you'll ever spend. I mean, millions of people, it has changed their lives. So order the book. That's going to take at least a day or 2 to arrive. Download the app for free. You can do you can download it free, do a 7-day free trial for the premium, which has all the things, right? Try it out. And then schedule tonight or tomorrow, go to YouTube, search the Miracle Morning movie, and go watch the movie. And it's like, if you do those 3 things, where like you get the book in the mail, it's on the way, you watch the movie, which will, I got cancer halfway through filming the movie and I was on death's doorway. I mean, the movie is not what you expect. It's very inspiring, very informative, and it will not just teach you what the Miracle Morning is, but it will show you everyday human beings that have transformed their lives, from Mike Eaton, who lost 80 pounds, to Rister Mum, who fulfilled her dreams as a motivational speaker and author, even though she was blind, to Keith Minnick, whose son died, and he went from being depressed for a year to letting it go on his first Miracle Morning. Those are his words, not mine. And then people that have used it to transform their careers, right? So order the book, watch the movie for free, download the app for free, and whether you're a morning person or not, this begins a journey that, I assign a 30-day challenge that's in the app, it's in the book, and very quickly, and Mark, you can speak to this too because you've experienced it. It begins transforming your life the very first Miracle Morning that you do, but then you do it consistently 6 days a week, 4 or 5 days a week, for the next 30 days, and you look back, you go, I'm a different person. I've never been this motivated, had this much clarity, been this excited for life, had this much discipline. Like, let's go. And you can apply it to whatever it is in your life that you need to overcome or that you want to accomplish. Your Miracle Morning is universal to amplify your ability as a human to fulfill your potential toward whatever end you're working towards.
It's ironic to end up blessed in this moment, to be able to look you in the eyes, to be reminded of how impactful the Miracle Morning is in habit. It was the key to my business success. It was the key to the relationships that I built and the follow through. And people would look at me and say, like, hey, he's just going to do what he says because that's what he does, right? Like, because I was in habit of taking no, like I had my, I was just in habit. And so my commitment to you is I'm going to download the app. You won't need to search for any of the stuff that he spoke of. It'll all be in the show notes. Very, very, very blessed, Hal. And to me, it's not a thought that somebody wouldn't have already ordered the Miracle Morning book. But if you have not, again, it's in the show notes. You should. It is a life-changing book, and it's a life-changing practice that I'm recommitting to on my own podcast, which means, for accountability standpoint, that's going to be rough. How many people are going to start asking me if I'm doing my Miracle Morning? Here we go. I'm downloading the app. Let's get it going. Hal, final question that I want to ask is, it's a loaded one in which the story of Jesse and the Banana Ball League is one of the most powerful stories of adversity that I've ever watched. I'm going to tear up. When you think of a man going out to create a clown league, right? Yeah. Of like to the point that he's selling out 50, 60, 70, I don't know what the record is now, 1,000-person venues. Yeah. Like for 5, 6, 7 hour festivals. It's absolutely insane to me. Yeah. And, it came full circle back. You came full circle back to me when I saw him share on the impact that the Miracle Morning had on him and how he attributed the success of the Banana Ball League to the Miracle Morning. Crazy. I feel like this is a really, really timely inquiry to ask. It's more of a inquiry than a question. Knowing the hate that I know that you've received and the adversity that I know that you've stepped up against when you're impacting one person at a time, right? And the magnitude of your impact. What does seeing something like that, seeing a man who has just gone through, his family's just gone through, I can't even imagine. I don't know him. But like from afar, I can imagine the adversity that he's gone through, and from the stories that he shares to like now people are leaving the pro baseball league to go play Banana Ball League. Like it's one of the most profound stories.
Oh, it is.
Of the Miracle Morning, impacting like manifesting somebody's dream in a way that it doesn't matter what you think of it, it's going to happen. Yeah. It's crazy. What does that do to you behind the books that you have on the wall as a person when you see that impact?
I mean, when he to flesh out what you're talking about, I was giving a speech at an event, LeaderCast event, and he was giving a speech there. And to be fair, or to be honest, I should say, I did not know. I knew of him sort of, but I had never spent any time understanding what his story. I hadn't seen his story. I just kind of knew who he was, the guy in the yellow tux that had like the baseball league. I didn't really know much more than that. So I didn't really deep dive into him until after. But when he approached me backstage, knowing who he was from in the context of he was speaking at the event, he was actually like I think he was maybe the main speaker. But he literally walked up and showed me his 8.5 by 11 notebook. It was his first journal. It was just it was just paper. Just a paper. It wasn't a journal. It was just a pad of paper from Office Depot. And he walked up to me and he knew I was going to be there. So he brought it and he showed it to me backstage. And it said at the top, Hal Elrod, the Miracle Morning. Like it was his note. It was his first journal entry. And then he wrote down savers. He wrote down all the savers practices of the Miracle Morning. And I was just like, I was speechless. I put my arm around him. I was like, this is amazing. And he was like, Miracle Morning changed my life. I've journaled every day for 10 years since I read your book. And it's I forgot his exact words. You can watch the video on my Instagram. If you go to my Instagram, it's the first video that's pinned at the top because it was just so special. And and he's one of countless stories that I don't take credit for. Like I feel like God gave me the Miracle Morning. It wasn't something I thought up. It was something that came to me through, divine downloads, if you will, or inspired thoughts. And I was like, all right, this is it. This is my thing. I'm going to do this morning routine. Then, oh my gosh, I'm supposed to share it with other people. But those are the everyday reading a social media post or an Amazon review of someone who shares how the Miracle Morning transformed their life or impacted them in some profound way. That is deeply meaningful. And then when the Jesse Coles of the world, who, are world famous, and the Miracle Morning contributed to theirs. And Robert Kiyosaki was another one, right? Robert Kiyosaki read my book 3 times, read the Miracle Morning 3 times, and reached out to me and said it changed his life and his marriage and his business. And I was like, oh my gosh, the author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, I read your book 10 years ago, and it changed my life. And so, so those are, honestly, those are highlights, right? It's no more meaningful to me. It's more kind of exciting, but it's no more meaningful than, Jane Doe that just left a review on the Miracle Morning book, and it's changing her life in a meaningful way.
Hal, thank you so much for your time in coming on the Purpose Chasers podcast. And, I'm a huge fan. You are, your movement, I believe, is responsible for the work that I've done, the impact that I've had thus far. And I'm very, very excited to download the Miracle Morning app. And again, I don't have an affiliate link right now. It is a struggle for me to get something going on a consistent basis. And I am blessed to be able to be reminded of how impactful the Miracle Morning can be on a regular basis. Thank you so much for your time and coming on. Can you close and just sharing where individuals can get access to the app and find your current work?
Absolutely. You can download the app directly in the App Store or the Google Play Store. But I always say the best hub for if you want to explore the Miracle Morning and apply it in your life is miraclemorning.com. So miraclemorning.com. If you go there, you'll see you can access the movie. You can subscribe to my podcast. You can download the app. All the things. So miraclemorning.com is the hub for everything Miracle Morning related. Or you can go to Amazon to buy the book. You can go to the App Store to download the app. You can go to YouTube to watch the movie, or go to miraclemorning.com to find all of it. And Mark, thanks so much, brother. I appreciate you.
That's a wrap on this episode of the Purpose Chasers podcast. If you're ready to take action, don't wait. Head over to thepurposechasers.com to access notes, resources, and a host of other tools to keep you moving forward. And if you want to supercharge your digital presence, visit ScaleToSaleConsulting.com to partner up with my team and amplify your impact. Let's turn your purpose into your biggest asset. Until next time, keep chasing, keep creating. Your purpose awaits.